ברשות מוריי ורבותיי, we just been now to the Me'ara of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and now we're going to go to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai alav shalom. As you know, we are in the month of Elul, and the month of Elul we need lawyers, spiritual lawyers for all our problems. And Be'ezat Hashem, those tzadikim that we go to will be our lawyers for Rosh Hashanah and Kippur. We should have a good year, Be'ezat Hashem. There is something that I want to talk to you today, that I am from Morocco. I was born in Morocco, and all my since I remember myself, I was about 4-year-old. I remember because I remember when my sister got born, and I am 4 years between me and my sister. So I remember, and I remember Elul. The month of Elul was very, very special. You can smell Elul in the streets. One of my memories since the age of 8, because at the age of 8 I left Morocco my father sent me to the yeshiva. I was 8-year-old till the age of 17-year-old. I was 9 years in the yeshiva. I saw my parents in the 9 years, maybe 3 times. That's it. I don't remember all the best time of my life. I was in the yeshiva. Usually the best time is to be with the parents. I was not with my parents. But I thought I have no problem. I'm happy, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. I have my rabbis. Baruch Hashem. But what I remember more than all my life in the yeshivot, all my life till now, it's Elul. The month of Elul, that we could smell it in the street. And the question is, why today we don't smell, we don't feel that Elul that we felt before? I promise you, every year, those memories come back to my mind. And I remember one rabbi, his name is Rabbi Shimon Amar, and this rabbi, he was at the synagogue, and he has a box. We used to call it the magic box. But what was that box? It was a recorder. It was a tape. And the tape, it was there, a mizmor. Le David Adonai, it's a mizmor that we say on Elul till Simchat Torah. It's a mizmor, and for us it was a magic box, because we did not know what it is, how that works. You know, it was now today you have iPhone, today you have everything, but at that time. So the problem is why we don't feel this. You know, every year I see this rabbi in my mind. I see him sitting on the table and with the tape recorder and the David, and that reminds me Rosh Hashanah, Elul. Why today we don't feel it? So I saw the Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Gershon Edelstein. He said from another rabbi. He said there is another rabbi. He said a beautiful thing. He said at that time people filled Elul because they saw faces. They were real rabbis. About 100 years ago, they were real rabbis. You see their face. You see their face on Elul, so you feel Elul. Unfortunately today, we don't feel Elul Because today there is not tzniut. Look, we went to Rabbi Yochai to pray there, and we saw two women that they are not well dressed. So you see, it's not their fault. I don't think Hatz Shalom did it on purpose. No, but unfortunately they don't know. I'm sure, look, they came for a bracha. That means they believe in Hashem. I asked them, do you believe in Hashem? He said, of course we believe in Hashem. One of those women are from Morocco. I mean, they believe in Hashem. But what about tzniut? How can you sit next to a place where Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was learning Torah 13 years with Eliyahu Navi? How can you dress yourself like that? They don't know. You understand? They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. So it's not their fault. They didn't get that kind of education. I remember my father, Alav Shalom, the way he educate us, tzniut, since my sisters were 1 year, 2 years, tzniut. Today, unfortunately, you see mothers, they will ask their sons to change, the clothes of a baby girl. She's a baby girl, but it's not tzniut. Sometimes I scream at my daughters that when they change the baby girl, not to do it in front of us. So our education, since we were babies, the education does not start when you grow. The education starts when she's a baby. There was a rabbi that one day he had a guest, a big Admo, and he came for the Brit Milah of his son. So after the Brit Milah, the rabbi told the Admo, my son that just born is a tzaddik. So he told him he's a tzaddik. How can he be a tzaddik? He just born. He just had a Brit Milah. How can he be a tzaddik? He said, well, my son is a tzaddik. Since he was born, I put a kippah on his head. So since he was born, he's a tzaddik. And now after the Brit Milah, he's more tzaddik. So I prove you, I show you. So what he did, so they went to the room where the baby was sleeping, and the father, he put his hand on the mezuzah. He covered the mezuzah. When he covered the mezuzah, the baby started to move. Then he took his hand out of the mezuzah, and the baby woke up, sleep. He put back, and so he put it back, and the baby started to scream. So he told him, you see, my son is a tzaddik. Again, he told, I'll give you another proof. What? He went slowly and he took his yarmulke from out of his head. As soon as he took it, the baby woke up. He put it back, he slept. You see, this is the way how we've been educated. So those people, when you look at their face give you hashpa'a tova, a good hashpa'a, a good influence, a holy influence. So unfortunately, at that time when I was in Morocco, all the Jewish people, the melach, there was no television, all the women cover their head, all the men with Jrabba, they cover, they were all tzadikim. They were not big on Torah, but they were big in Emunah. Like my Baal Bayit. My Baal Bayit, Mordechai Knafo Alav Shalom. I remember he could even, he don't understand a word in the tefillah. And I see him crying. I told him, why you cry? He said, I cry. But why you cry? Do you understand what you read? No. So why you cry? He said, because I know that my tefillah go to Hashem. Who I am to pray to Hashem. He was not a rabbi. He did not understand a word. But he has emunah. Like those two ladies. Emunah. Those two ladies, they are not tzniut and they have emunah. They don't know. Look the way they were looking at us. I mean, they were, I'm sure that they must have been done a mitzvah that we went there at that moment that they were there to receive the bracha. I promise you, when they used to look at us, they went like that. That means our face, all of us, our face at that moment where we were in the Me'ara of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, our face was full of emunah. When your face is full of emunah, so you impress other people. So that's why at that time, Elul was giving hashpah. The rabbi, when you look at the rabbis, so you feel Elul through their face. But today, unfortunately, there is not such kind of rabbis that they can give you this hashpah to feel Elul. But if there is, so you feel it. Yes, you feel it. I remember my rabbi, Rabbi Shammai alav shalom. I will never forget. I will never forget. I will never forget. I am 72 years old today. I go back 57 years back, when you used to pray in Rosh Hashanah, when you used to say, HaMelech HaKadosh, I was shaking. Till now, I hear HaMelech HaKadosh. Till now, every year, I still hearing. Why? Because his face. On Yom Kippur, when you used to do the tefillah of the Kohen Gadol, when the Kohen Gadol, he do the name, he spelled the name of Hashem, he used to bend. And Rabbi Shammai alav shalom, he was a little bit big, and it was hard for him to bend on the floor. We used to help him, but I will never forget that. It's something, it's here. So this is why today we don't feel it much. The Elul, we don't feel it. But Baruch Hashem, what we are doing today, through going to Kivrei Tzadikim, and we talk about them, and we remember what they were, and we take them as lawyers for Rosh Hashanah and Kippur. So Be'ezat Hashem, that could give us something of preparation for Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, and so. We still have few minutes before we arrive to Rabbi Levi Ben Sisi alav shalom. I would like to tell you that I saw in a book that it was a man who worked in the bank. But he not put him okay. No, nothing. He's not a religious man. But on the month of Elul, he put a yarmulke in his head. So they asked him, why you do that? You're not religious. All year you don't put yarmulke. Why? He said, because one day, 50 years ago, I prayed in the shul with the Nazi of Volozhin. I prayed with him on Elul, and I saw his face. So from that day, every year on Elul, his face came to my face. So I put my yarmulke. The hashpa'ah, the influence, the influence. There is something that I want to tell you about the parasha of yesterday. I took there was a religious journal. I loved what he wrote. He said, one day I went to Austria, and in the night we had to travel 7 hours in the night. But so beautiful, but we couldn't see nothing. because it was the night. He said, but the next day, we have to come back on the day. And it was so beautiful. Mountains, rivers, all kinds of things, beautiful view. So he told his wife, what's the difference between last night and today? What we saw now, that's what we traveled last night, and we saw nothing. Why? Because it was dark. And now I started to think about that story. I said, unfortunately, the month of Elul, or during all year, there is no difference between Elul and the whole year. Whole year is like you are traveling in the darkness. And Elul, you see the light. And Elul, you start, but the feeling that you feel on Elul, you can feel it as well, the same way all year, if you want. It's up to you. It's true, when you fly in the night, you see nothing. You don't see the sea, you don't see nothing. But when you fly in the day, you see the sea, boat, you see villages, you see a lot of good things. The difference is, and our lifetime is the same. If we have to travel our lifetime, we have to make our lifetime brighter, whiter. But when we travel in the dark, without Torah, without Ma'asim Tovim, so but when you discover the light of the Torah, wow, what I miss. There was a Baal Tshuva, even you told me. I remember, you told me once.